Information is power.
Company kept lying to me. Solar panels were
Information is power.
Information is power. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Information Man Show. I want to talk about something for a brief moment. I've had some technical problems. That's why I ran a little late. But nevertheless, I'm live now. I want to get into the analysis of what's happening in the Ukraine, and those of us who live in America think that we're safe and sound. You're listening to a brother who lived through the 80s when we were on the brink of nuclear disaster, and even beyond those years that I lived. This is a serious problem. As we spend a lot of time on YouTube talking about things that don't really matter, we better take heed because Putin is a real gangster. He is KGB, baby. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let's begin the Information Man Show.
Tell the truth.
The Information Man Show. Let's not forget, the Chinese are involved as well. They have an interest in this situation. Welcome to the Information Man Show.
Tell the truth.
Let's get at it.
Tell the truth.
The Information Man Show. Diplomacy's not working. Military strategy. Russian tanks. Hit the alarm. They're controlling the airspace. That's Russian planes.
Tell the truth.
Just because we live in the United States don't make us safe. You notice they're not going after him the way they went after other tyrants in the world because he's got the weaponry. He's got the power.
Information is power.
real Russian tanks.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Peace. Welcome to the show.
Tell the truth.
Thank you. All right, everybody. I hope that everybody can hear me. Thank you for your patience. Had some technical problems. I meant to go on a long time ago, and about an hour ago, 2 hours ago, a lot of technical problems. Seems like every time I want to go live, that's when the machinery starts acting funny style. But I think everybody that's here, not going to take up a lot of your time. I know I often say that, but I'm serious about that. I just want to get to a few points here. I want to open up your mind and have you think about a few things. What I want to do is I definitely want y'all to open up your minds and the things that I'm going to say to you, because you know that you got the Western point of view of what's going on with this war, and you've got the Eastern point of view, right? And we know that the media can be used to manipulate all of us. But I want to do a little education here. I have a video. I think it's a very good comprehensive video. It's about 8-9 minutes video that breaks down this whole conflict in terms of why is Vladimir Putin so obsessed with the Ukraine. It goes back to the USSR. Now, how many of you in the chat room, you can go by a show of hands by putting a 1. How many of you remember when Russia, in terms of growing up like I did, when Russia was the USSR? Because you know that Ukraine was a country that was a part of the USSR. And you have to also understand that Vladimir Putin, let me say his name correct there. He's old school KGB, which is why a lot of people who were big Trump fans because Trump was speaking very fond of Putin. People don't realize that Putin and what the Russians do, while we're figuring out in America how to make bombs and nuclear this and how to, the Russians are trying to figure out ways to move things with their mind, how to manipulate through the mind. And I'm telling you right now, Donald Trump was a compromised president because Putin was playing him like a cheap ass piano. You see, you got Trump and all his followers, all his cult followers that are drinking the Kool-Aid of a country that has been the enemy of the United States as long as I was a child and before I was born. Glorianne Murray gave me a fantastic super chat. She says, my people, please start stocking up on food and supplies. This is only the beginning of the chaos. Yes, I'm going to be talking about that. Because see, while we live in America, we thinking, oh, that's hee and kiki and laugh. Just like we thought that the virus from China wasn't coming over here. This conflict breaks out and gets worse. It's going to be worse for us too. And for those of you that are Bible thumpers out there that believe in the Bible, didn't God say that the next time he would punish man by fire? Isn't that what it said in the Bible? Can somebody agree with me on that? I think God said next time it'll be by fire. And what does a nuclear missile do? It creates all type of chaos. We laugh when we look at movies like The Planet of the Apes because we think, oh, that's just a movie. If they blast any of those nuclear bombs, this will be the planet of the roaches because it'll only be roaches and rodents that'll be alive running around. So Glorianne Murray, thank you for that. Brother Keith West gave me a super chat, $20 super chat. Thank you for that as well.
Thank you for the super chat.
And Brother Keith West said this, great conversation. This war isn't our war. Black people, they want to focus on this, but they don't want to give us what we for our community cut the check. Yeah, we need reparations. But let me tell you, Brother Keith West, why you have to re-examine this. You see, remember when Obama was in office? The Russians were very racial about Obama. They had lots of racism for Obama. They don't like black folks. Putin don't like black folks. And also, if you do your history, there has been a African or a black presence in Russia as well. You do have black Russians. You do understand that, do you?
Information is power.
Not Brother Keith in Pacific, because he's right. We do need reparation. They need to cut the goddamn check. Because you know as well as I know that there's going to be refugees from Russia. We already saw what they did with Afghanistan when they brought Afghanis over here. Matter of fact, let me show my face on this one. Just so y'all know, you do know that the Afghanistani folks who they brought over here, you know, they're letting them. They got people volunteering to house them. They got Airbnb or whatever that service is where you can, when you travel, you can live in a nice luxury home and stuff like that. They're even using the Airbnb services, and I'm not even saying it right, but don't worry, y'all know what I'm talking about. They're even using those services to provide housing for the Afghanistani folks that they brought over here, that Biden brought over here, and I think at the tune of $3.1 billion package to help those folks out. But yet they can't help people out in Atlanta, Georgia, where we got black men homeless. And I talked about that several weeks ago. They're talking about $38 million for a dog shelter, only $3.5 million for black folks that's homeless in a town that black folks we thought were in charge of, but that's a joke. So they've got room to take care of people who are not citizens here, weren't born here, didn't put any sweat into this place or tears. The United States government has no problem with helping them out, even though black folks voted for Joe Biden, 93% for black women, 83% black men. They've done nothing for us. So I'm telling you, some of the people over there in Ukraine, they're going to be coming over here very soon. The United States is going to absorb some of the refugees. This is only going to get worse. Vladimir Putin is playing games. Over the last few days, we've been hearing points about Ukraine's putting up a hell of a fight and what have you. He's just toiling with them right now. And anybody that thinks that Vladimir Putin just came up with this idea like yesterday, he's been playing this for a long time and playing this out for a long time. He's been planning it out. You see, Vladimir is playing checkers. Vladimir is playing checkers. No. Let me correct myself. He's playing chess. He's not playing checkers. The rest of the world is playing checkers. The question you got to ask yourself is, why was this man not neutralized a long time ago? He's old school KGB. They were spying on the United States during the Cold War. The Cold War has never been over, ladies and gentlemen. It's always still been here. They've been spying on us. They've been involved in cyber attacks. Oh, by the way, for those of you who were like, well, the Russians weren't involved in the election of Vladimir Putin loves Donald Trump. Donald Trump himself said and had the audacity to say, well, if I was president, this would not happen. Yes, it would be happening. And you would just give him the whole goddamn plate right there. Now, black people on YouTube and about will say, well, this ain't got nothing to do with black folks. Yes, it do, because this will affect us indirectly, meaning cost of living in this world is going sky high. Energy cost is going up. This energy cost is going up and it will have an effect on us. Do you know where most of the world's grain is produced, ladies and gentlemen? Can you tell me? And back to the basis. Thank you for that. She says, salute to you, information man, and get your bugs out, bugs ready, and other supplies not far. Yeah. Thank you for that super chat too, sister.
Thank you for the super chat.
Keep in mind, a lot of the world's gas, natural gases, but grain, food sources, a lot of them are coming right out of Russia. Now, you would say, well, the sanctions should keep Russia in check. Russia was always in sanctions, ladies and gentlemen. They were in sanctions when they were USSR. And eventually they collapsed economically. Yes, they did. But Russia is in bid with China. And they'll just sell their grain to China. China's got what? Billions. China is such an overcrowded society. The Ukraine will still make their money selling their grain to China alone when they've got billions upon billions of people who live in China. Yeah, they've been cut off they've been cut off a few areas economically. They're being cut off. Exactly. But do you think that Vladimir, I keep saying Vladimir, but Vladimir. Do you think that Vladimir Putin gives a rat's ass about these sanctions? Because if he did, why would he go in there and invade? Now, technically, if you use the real definition of invading a country, usually when you invade a country, you take the leader of that country out first. You take him out. Vladimir has not said out of his mouth that he wants to replace the leadership there. However, you can't trust this man at all because, like I said, he's an old KG spy. Now, Vladimir Putin will tell you that over in the Ukraine, you've got rebels over there, people who don't want to be a part of the Ukraine government, right? He would say that there's Nazis. Do your research, folks, that there are evil or negative elements in the Ukraine that Vladimir Putin does not like, that we would deem in America as Nazis. But I'm going to say to you again, why would Vladimir Putin, and thank you, DOD, he say the bombs are ready and technically nuclear by name. That's right, DOD. Thank you for coming over. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you, Gloria Murray. Natural's in the house. Black Anonymous is in the house. I'm getting to the point with this stream because I know there's other popular streams going on, but this one is important because I got some beautiful things to play for you. Now I'm going to play for you a video that will break down the conflict, give you a back-to-back breakdown of the history like no other. I don't think the mainstream news in America gives you a good comprehensive breakdown as to what this is really all about. No, they don't. Sometimes you got to go look at news from other countries and other parts of the world that give you a better comprehensive breakdown. And I'm going to play that for you. And then I'm going to play for you a 2019 audio clip from Patty Austin, who was on my man, the Joe Madison show. And she goes over there and performs regularly in Russia. They love her in Russia. And she says that what people don't understand is that a lot of celebrities or entertainers that go to Russia, they are privy to seeing a lot of stuff that goes on. And she read it. She said she predicted this was going to happen in 2019. She also exposed Donald Trump because they got something on Donald Trump. And she says she knows it. She knows what they do. She say in Russia, they find out when you are a very important person, especially from America, they find out what you like, what you don't like, what turns you on, what doesn't turn you on. And they play on that very same thing. They play on you. They watch you everywhere you go. She said because she know that because they did that to her. So I've got a beautiful audio clip from the one and only Patty Austin. She's a beautiful jazz singer. A little bit up there in age right now, but you're gonna love that audio because she was already predicting some of this stuff and what Putin's mindset is. See, you got to go back to Putin's childhood. As I put this up here for you, there he is on the far left as a child. There he is. He has that same smuck look to him, doesn't he? There he is in the middle as a younger man, and then there he is to the right as what he is now. See, some folks were not going to be able to handle what I'm about to say. Psychopaths are not created. Psychopaths are born. They're born, and then eventually they can be shaped. Their psychopathic traits can be shaped. When I was I went to a seminar at Napa State in Napa, California, and there was a leading psychiatrist by the name of Dr. Hare in Canada. Look him up. He's done extensive research on psychopath. And he said that in America, it's not popular to say this, but in Canada, they've been studying this, how they can determine the potential of a person becoming a psychopath from as little as of you being a child. They can look at brain patterns and waves in the brain. And he showed us slides of this. It's not very popular to say in America. But Vladimir Putin was probably a deranged individual going all the way back to when he was a child, as you see to the far left. And he probably grew up at a time when it was a no break, no pain, no gain type of attitude. The man is very dangerous. While we're sitting over here in America thinking that we're nice and safe, while we get on these YouTube streets talking about a nonsense some of the time, not all the time, we have a real situation that can be a threat to us over here in America. I've been hearing a lot of BS on YouTube lately about this whole thing about black men are this and black men are that, and black women are this and black women are that. Black men against black women against black men, all this nonsensical debate about do black men stand up? Do black men fight against white supremacy? What if black men created? What if black men have done? Everybody's flapping their guns, flapping. I'm going to be doing a live stream next week. I'm going to shut all this nonsense up. And I'm not going to go back to what black men did in the past, in the 40s and the 50s and the black inventors and all the things that people are going to try to marginalize anyway if you say it. I'm going to go do a stream and I'm going to show you what black men are doing and what they're accomplishing today. Now, there's a brother on YouTube that I'm familiar with by the name of Little Big Nate. And he said this, and I agree with him. When you look at the numbers, 52% of black men are either unmarried or don't have children. 52%. Wow. The numbers went up just a little bit more. 33% of black men are either married. That means that there's 83% of black men who are not out here impregnating black women and doing the wrong things. So what's happening is when you do the math and the addition and you do some mathematics, that means that there's really only 17% of black men out here in the world that fit all the things that you're talking about. 17% versus 83% of black men. So that means you can't say all black men are doing this, all black men are doing that. I'm going to stop right there because next week I'm going to bust that open a little bit further, go a little bit deeper about that issue because I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing it. And most people that talk about it, they're only going based on their anecdotal experiences. But I'm going to bring facts because we're going to look at what organizations black men are involved in and what they are doing tangibly, like my man George Makem, who's also asking for donations. See, while we flap our gums about what's wrong, how about we donate to brothers that are out there doing something? Donate to the urban nerds worldwide. Now, I say that as a side note because I'm going to go into that show next week. I'm going to debunk a lot of nonsense I've been hearing on these YouTube streets. So while we talk about that, we've got a madman right here who could blow us right off the face of the earth. It's called mutual destruction. See, if the United States has nuclear missiles, right? So we have nuclear missiles. Russia has nuclear missiles. And so if they shoot their nuclear missiles and we shoot our nuclear missiles, it's called mutual destruction. We both go. We both don't make it. We're gone. Nobody's on the earth. Planet of the roaches. Get ready for the dawn of the planet of the roaches.
Tell the truth.
So there go the American flag. It'll be no more. There go the Russian flag. It'll be no more. Nobody will be anymore. Oh, there'll be no more YouTube because there won't be any YouTube existing because it'll all be gone. We'll be gone. So while we spend a lot of time on YouTube talking about things that really don't matter, things that are not quantified properly, and while we do a lot of generalization, a lot of anecdotal exampling, we really don't half the time. We really focus on things that are at the low hanging fruit. This is not a time for black folks or anybody to be dividing themselves. The Russians are not divided. Vladimir Putin is not divided. He is precisely going to work to take back which he believes is his. Let me tell you something we got to be concerned about as I go into the chat room. We got Black Anonymous. We got Mo. Maurice is in the house. Peace to you. We got Malik Smith in the house. Lady Love Life. Thank you for being here. I got 91 people. I'm very shocked to have these many people over here watching because I didn't think this topic would bring a lot of people out. So I'm very happy. I'm very happy. We've got my man Keith West in the house, Oh Reliable, who is a great moderator in the chat room. We got Money Boy Films. Thank you for coming over, Money Boy. Guy Nollywood Jr., thank you for coming over. Very happy to see the numbers, the people coming over to participate. And why I do that, I forgot to drop a couple other alerts that I'm going to drop right now over here. And I really appreciate everybody coming out and supporting the channel today, right? What I'm going to do is I want to play this video for you to give you some perspective on this whole situation in Russia. I'm concerned, folks. You should be concerned. Now, I don't want to, maybe it sounds like I'm hitting a alarm of paranoia. Should I say again, alarm of paranoia? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. And let me pop that one in there like so. Put that one in there. Hang on for a minute. I'm just dropping off a few other shared. And there we go. That's nice and shared. And I'm going to go for one more here. And that's now shared. I wanted to just share the video, ladies and gentlemen. Share the video in your social media if you have the opportunity. I appreciate that because I think this needs to be put out there for everybody to hear what I'm talking about here. So Putin has already declared that he's alerting his forces to prepare themselves for nuclear. He has already warned the United States. He's already warned the world that if you get involved in what we got going over here, you're going to see something like you've never seen. Guess what? Putin ain't no bluffer. Putin don't play games. Putin ain't like other leaders in the world who do a lot of talking. You notice he doesn't do very much talking. Have you even seen Putin get up on a podium and start running off at the mouth? He don't operate like that. He's a cool hand Luke. That's KGB. He's playing a psychological game. While the rest of the world is, he's playing psychology on all of us. Because the whole world knows that he's got something for them. Putin already knew that they were going to put economic sanctions on him. What's new? See, I take this serious because I lived through the 80s. When I was in high school, junior high school, how many of y'all remember this who lived through the 80s in the late 70s? Put a 1 in the chat room. Do you remember when you were in school and they had nuclear bomb drills and they would tell us in school, okay, we're about to have a nuclear bomb drill. Get under the table. That was false security in our mind mentally because you can't survive a nuclear blast under a table. They were simply, from a psychological point of view, trying to prepare us psychologically to make us think that we could save ourselves that way. How many of y'all remember that? Put a 1 in the chat room. You were in elementary school or you were in junior high school or high school, and they would say, see, you millennials don't know anything about this. You're wet behind the ears. You still got baby formula coming out your mouth. Back in the day, they told you to get your ass under the desk, and this is a nuclear blast drill. That's the truth.
Tell the truth.
And somehow, when I think about it today, I'll say to myself, my Lord, why did they have us do those drills? It wasn't going to save us. It's the same reason when you're on a plane and they know that people are nervous flying on a plane, they give you peanuts and drinks. They walk by your seat and they say, how are you doing, sir? How are you doing, ma'am? They're trying to make you feel calm because they know that you're sitting up there thousands of miles in the air on a plane, in a damn machine, flying through sky, and that damn thing could fall apart. You could fall in the sky, out of the friendly skies at any damn time. They know at any time you could fly out of the friendly skies. Or maybe those friendly skies are not so friendly. Those are Russian jets right there. The Russians have taken control. When you go into war, the first thing you want to do is take out your enemy's communications. You want to isolate them. You want to bring in your ground troops if necessary. If not necessary, you want to hit them by air, turn off communications. There was rumors that the Russians wanted to shut down the internet so that the rest of the world wouldn't know what's going on over there. They're strategizing. Could this be a prelude to World War III? Could it be? Am I just being paranoid? Y'all tell me. Y'all tell me, am I paranoid or am I speaking truth to power?
Tell the truth.
Let me go into this video to give you some perspective on how this whole thing got started. We got the Empress Queen saying when Ronald Reagan told, Gorbachev. I remember I grew up under that. Gorbachev. Remember back in the 80s, they had the Star Wars system. And I'm not talking about Star Wars, the movie. They wanted to put nuclear rockets in space to be able to counteract the Russians shooting weapons at us. Another reason why Vladimir Putin wants to take over that part of the world, because he's upset that the Western world, the democratic Western world, is moving in closer. What do I mean by that? Because you have the United States military all over Europe, and Vladimir Putin realizes that there's a lot of weapons and missiles pointing right at Russia. From a military point of view, That's another concern because if the United States has a relationship with the Ukraine, they have a passageway right into Russia from a military strategy point of view. Let me play this video for you to put it more in perspective. Thank you for coming over, Kelly. I see you in the house. We got Yvette in the house, WTW. We got Nappy Yankee. It is very serious, Nappy Yankee, very serious. This is why we can have this is what I'm trying to say is, while we enjoy the fruits of our labor in America, while we enjoy our YouTubing in America, we enjoy our family and our lifestyle, what's happening over there will have an effect on you, whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Latino, whatever, whoever, and whatever you are. It will have an indirect effect and an economic effect. It will. Because Russia, whether you believe it or not, Russia does have resources that the rest of the world needs. Like I said, the majority of, when it comes to grain that we eat, comes out of Russia. Oh, let's look at microchips. I can't even get a goddamn PlayStation 5 right now. Microchips. Well, Russia has a relationship with China. The whole microchipping technology, that's going to have an impact. Now, China set up here today and made a report saying, oh, what they're doing in Russia, doing this Cold War stuff, is sort of like inadequate. They shouldn't do this. China shouldn't even be talking. The way they treat their people, the tyrant things that are going on over there in China, they shouldn't even open their damn mouth. We got Mostar Sports Entertainment. Thank you for coming over and joining me. Let's go into this video. The video will take a little bit of time. I want y'all to listen to the video very carefully. Listen to what the lady is saying. This is a report coming out of, not in here in America, because in America, you're not going to get a comprehensive report like this. She's giving a comprehensive report like no ever. What's going on, Golden Melanin? What's going on, Kelly? What's going on, everybody? The bigger they are, the harder they fall. Yes, that's true. That's true. We got the Bright family in the house. Thank you for coming on over. Thank you. The Bright family. Thank you. We got Doc in the house saying hello, information man. Thank you, Doc. I appreciate you coming over, man. I tell the truth on that one.
Tell the truth.
Thank you for coming over and being a part of this. What I want y'all to get ready for is this report that I'm about to give you, because they're strategizing. They're not playing. And I think we need to be concerned about what's going on over there, because whatever's happening can come over to us. Now, when it comes to troops, who do you think is going to be on the front line if it was a ground warfare? If it was ground warfare, right? Who do you think would be the first people that they would send over there on the ground to get involved in this type of warfare that you see right here, right? To deal with these tanks. And by the way, the Russians still have tanks like you see right there. Did you know that the Marines, I think it was the Marines or some branch of our military in America, they decided to not deal with tanks anymore because they're saying that tanks just don't get it anymore in these military campaigns. I don't know. Diplomacy, is diplomacy not working anymore? Joe Biden, everybody's been sitting down with Vladimir, and he ain't having it. He not listening to what y'all got to say. And these are just realities when it comes to Russia, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's get ready for the video. Tell the
Tell the
truth.
truth.
No!
My young one says no. Here's the news report.
Information
Of it,
is
Ukraine was under Russian rule. In the 1900s, the two were Soviet republics. Russia, the most powerful of the 15 republics, and Ukraine, the second most powerful. It had defense industries, large agricultural lands, and housed much of the Soviet nuclear arsenal. During the Cold War, Ukraine was the arch rival of the United States. The Soviet Union collapsed in 1991. Ukraine became independent, as did Russia. Ukraine inherited much of Soviet nuclear arsenal, but gave it up to Russia in 1994. In exchange, Moscow guaranteed Ukraine's security and promised to respect its sovereignty. They signed the Budapest Memorandum along with these countries. Cut to November 2013, Viktor Yanukovych was the president of Ukraine. He had a reputation for heavy-handedness, corruption, and above all, for being openly pro-Moscow. In 2013, he rejected an EU trade deal. This deal could have meant greater integration with the European Union. Instead, Yanukovych decided to take a $15 billion bailout from Russia. To many Ukrainians, it felt like being sold to Moscow. So protests broke out. They were called Euromaidan. Euro because these protests were about Europe, and Maidan because they happened in Kiev's Maidan, what we today know as the Independence Square. Here, protesters chanted, "Sign the EU deal, Yanukovych must step down." Russia supported the president, the West supported the protesters. In February 2014, Yanukovych's government was toppled, the president was driven out of Ukraine, he fled to Russia. Not every Ukrainian was happy with this. Many in the Russian-speaking East wanted Yanukovych to stay. When he was driven out, the minority felt disenfranchised. On the other side of the border, Russia was angry it had lost its puppet. To salvage the situation, Moscow annexed Crimea. Why Crimea? Well, let's now zoom into this part of the world. Crimea is a peninsula. It is located in the Black Sea. In 1954, Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev transferred Crimea. It was given to the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic from the Russian Soviet Socialist Republic. Why? Khrushchev hoped the transfer would strengthen, quote-unquote, brotherly ties between the Ukrainian and Russian people. Both Russia and Crimea were part of the Soviet Union. So this transfer did not mean very much. When Ukraine became independent in 1991, Crimea joined it. The peninsula was given special autonomy. It remained home to Russian military bases. Moscow promised to respect Crimean autonomy. Many in Russia were of the opinion that Crimea should not have been allowed to join Ukraine. In 2014, when Yanukovych was ousted from power in Ukraine, Russian military began seizing government buildings in Crimea. Soon the entire peninsula was under military occupation. A referendum followed. On the 16th of March 2014, Crimeans voted to become a part of Russia. Was this vote legitimate? Well, it depends on who you ask. For Putin, this was Crimea's liberation. For the rest of the world, this was Crimea's annexation. The focus then shifted to eastern Ukraine, where Russia-backed separatists had seized territory. Ukrainian forces did not launch an all-out offensive at first, but on the 17th of July 2014, when a flight carrying 298 people was shot down by these rebels, Ukrainian forces decided to flush out the rebels. The separatists began losing ground, so the Russian army stepped in. They invaded eastern Ukraine and fought alongside the rebels. What followed was a series of talks between Russia, Ukraine, and the West. They resulted in the Minsk Accords. This was first signed in 2014. Both sides agreed on ceasefire and military withdrawal. Ukraine agreed to hold elections in the rebel-held areas. 8 years on, the Minsk Accords remain unimplemented. Ukraine stands as the largest European country excluding Russia. It covers an area of more than 600,000 square kilometers with a population of 44 million and a GDP of more than $155 billion. Per capita income, more than $3,700. Today, Ukraine is divided between East and West in more ways than one. The West sees itself as more European. The East is closer to Russia, be it in terms of geography or sentiment. In the West, most Ukrainians speak Ukrainian. In the East, a third are native Russians. In the West, Russia is looked at with suspicion. In the East, Russia is looked at through the lens of shared history and heritage. Ukraine also remains at war. Its forces are fighting the rebels in the East. Rebel leaders are ruling at least two regions, Donetsk and Luhansk. Together, they're known as the Donbas region. Russia has once again sent its troops. This time, they're stationed right at the border. What does Vladimir Putin want? For NATO to stop expanding. NATO stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's a military alliance. These countries are the founding members of NATO. These countries joined it during the Cold War, and these countries joined after it. Ukraine wants to join NATO too, but Putin wants NATO to exclude Ukraine and every former Soviet state. And this is just half the story. Like I said, a lot is hidden in history. For starters, there is domestic politics. When Putin annexed Crimea, his approval rating skyrocketed. Keeping the nationalistic drum rolling helps the Russian president. Annexing parts of Ukraine also helps Putin restore Russia's superpower image. Again, back to history. Many Russians view Ukraine's independence as a mistake. It is true that Ukraine was ruled by Russia. In fact, Ukraine has barely remained independent pre-1991. There was a brief period before World War I, and then another stint in 1600. For the rest of its modern history, Ukraine was under Russia. 1 in 6 Ukrainians is an ethnic Russian. 1 in 3 speaks Russian as a native language. So Putin is right when he says historically they were one. But claiming Ukraine on the basis of colonial history is wrong. It will be like Britain claiming India or South Africa, or Spain claiming the Philippines. Past imperialism cannot justify present-day expansionism. Here's what else history tells us. Ukraine was forcefully Russified. Cut to 1700, Russian leader Catherine the Great started Russifying Ukraine. Ethnic Russians were shipped to this part of the world. Schools were told to teach Russian language. By 1800, the Ukrainian language was banned. In 1930s, Soviet leader Joseph Stalin steered a famine in Ukraine. Millions of Eastern Ukrainians were killed. The area was then repopulated with ethnic Russians. In the 1940s, the ethnic Tatars were relocated. They too were replaced with Russians. There is a reason why Eastern Ukraine today has so many native Russian speakers. It was designed to be that way. Eastern Ukraine was always dear to Russia. It has coal, it has iron, fertile land. Its historical connection with Russia was forced. Putin time and again talks about the Holy Rus. He says Russians and Ukrainians are one people. 70% Ukrainians reject this thought. 72% consider Russia a hostile state. Today, 33.3% Ukrainians are ready to take up arms against Russia. 21.7% are ready to stage a civil resistance against Russia. 67% Ukrainians want to join the EU. 59% want to join the NATO. Meet the current Ukrainian president, Volodymyr Zelensky. He came to power in 2019 following a landslide victory. He is a vocal critic of Russia. Zelensky openly opposes Russian occupation of eastern Ukraine. 73% of Ukrainian voters voted this man to power. Today, Volodymyr Zelensky represents the pulse of Ukraine, the Ukraine that wants to remain independent of Russia. But Vladimir Putin wants to become the man who revived Russian imperialism.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Information is power.
All right. There it is. That's a comprehensive breakdown of why you have this situation going on. You're not going to see too many news agencies in America that's going to break it down like that. That's part of the problem with our news in this country. They give you a lot of fluff, but they don't give you a lot of facts and a lot of breakdowns so you can understand what's happening. Now, you may say to yourself, what does that got to do with me if I'm black or some other race? Well, what's happening over there is we're going to feel a direct, indirect impact of what's happening over there. And if they do put American troops on the ground, they're going to put people on that ground that look just like you and just like me. You best to believe.
Tell the truth.
And so we should be concerned for our own personal safety to see how far is this escalating. So I know on YouTube, we talk a lot about different subject matters. We have panel discussions and people are talking about a whole bunch of other stuff. But I think it's very important for you to take a look and examine what's happening in this conflict. Now, the next thing I want to play for you as I get to conclusion of this broadcast today, and I want to thank you all again in the chat room. I'm going to look at what people are saying as well. Believe that. I want to play you a exclusive audio from Patty Austin. She is a a jazz singer. You all may not be aware of Patty Hearson in terms of her connection to Russia. You know her as a singer, a very classy singer, very soulful sister here. But you may not, what you're about to hear from her are some things that you may not know about Russia because she's been going over there for years. They absolutely love her over in Russia. And she's spilling the tea on this audio that I'm going to play for you. She was on the Joe Madison show, The Black Eagle on Sirius XM radio. And she said some things, and what you're going to hear, this is in 2019. She was already predicting what we're seeing right now. And your boy Trump, who came out there, threw himself out the damn window and was praising Putin and what he was doing over there. She already said that she knew, and it was known within the people that she know, the entertainers that she runs with, it was already a fact that Donald Trump has been compromised by Putin and by the Russians because of his travels over there and his business dealings. Look this one up too. Donald Trump cannot get a loan. Donald Trump cannot get a loan from any legitimate bank in America. He's got over 30 bankruptcies or more. So he had to get his money from foreign entities. And that's why he has this relationship with Vladimir Putin. He's been going over there for years, building hotels, the whole nine yard. She's going to break down some of the things that some of you might not be aware of. This is on the Joe Madden show, 2019, giving an interview. She's been going over there performing, and she's spilling all the tea as to the things that she sees, what these people do over there in Russia when they are around celebrities like herself, that they have no shame. And in Russia, they have no shame. It is a country that has pretty much been run by thugs or those Russian mob. And Putin is no stranger to this. How many of you out there knew that when Putin was a little boy, when Putin was growing up, he was a hockey player. He was a hockey player. And Patty Austin said that she knew personally his childhood friend that he played hockey with, who spilled the beans on this corrupt man right here. Let's get at it. The breaking news again.
Information is power.
Be very patient and hear everything this sister is saying right now.
Years I've been running around on a horse, not saying that the British are coming, but saying that the Russians are coming, because I've been watching what's been happening all over the world with the Russians, with Putin's agenda. Because this is the other thing, we've got to get the people out of the way of the leaders, because the leaders have these mental penile implants that makes them feel that they must rule somebody. And the question is not that you feel that you must rule somebody. The question is, why do you feel you must rule somebody? Who told you that you are capable of that, or that you should even have that feeling in your soul anywhere. The battle that I see going on, that I've seen growing and growing and growing, is the battle between, do you do something because it's the right thing and you know it in your gut, and because that is the heart of who we should be. We should be loving beings. And or are you obsessed and possessed to want to tell everybody what to do and how to do it? And we got a bunch of guys, and I'm going to go girl and guy now, a bunch of guys walking around thinking they got to rule the world. And they're high-fiving each other in public, and they're partying, and they're putting their stuff together. And people are either sleeping on this, which scares me.
I was going to ask you, why do you think they're getting away with it? Well, you just gave reason number one.
I've got creepy feelings about why they're getting away with it, but that gets into another thing.
Well, creep us out. What do you think? Why
because I go to Russia a lot and I know how they function. They constantly, if you come from anywhere else, or even if you're there and they have any suspicions about you, you're constantly under observation. Constantly. They know everything you're doing.
Everything.
Trust me, when Trump went there the first time, they had cameras all up in his room.
That's right.
They had hose all up in his room because everything the Russians do.
Now, you're not talking about gardening hose.
I'm talking about, in a way they're gardening. I'm talking about, they're doing some plowing, but anyway, no, I'm talking about the fact that when we were trying to build bombs, the Russians were sitting in rooms trying to figure out how to move an ashtray across the table with their mind. They're about mind games.
Mind games.
Putin is particularly about mind games, and so if he's got somebody he's going after that he wants to create a situation of compromise with, he's going to get dirt on your ass. He's going to find out what you do like, and he's going to serve it to you. He's going to find out what you don't like, and he's going to threaten you with it. And between those two things, he's got you between a rock and a hard place. And if the media wants to get rid of Trump in 2 days, stop talking about what he's doing, because he's not doing jack. He's being Mr. T. Everything that he does is coming from Putin. I've been saying to people for years, these suckers are communicating with each other every frickin' day. Every day. And it's starting to come out. Oh yeah, well, we have been meeting, we have been talking to him. Yeah, oh yeah, we did have that meeting. They do everything out in the open. That's bad. Because then it becomes blurred. Is this bad? Is this good? They're doing it in the open. It couldn't be bad.
Right.
But you got to look.
Well, that's that's a fascinating point. You're right. Let's do it in the open because if since it's in the open, it as you say, it can't be bad.
It can't be bad
because it's right
we
here.
Just did it here.
We just did it.
People. I grew up in New York. If you get me mad enough, I talk like Trump. It's like, hey, what the hell are you doing? This is a guy that grew up in Queens, where little old white ladies sit in their house dresses, and anybody brown that passes their house, they call him a nigga.
That's right. That's where he comes from.
This is where he grew up. Here we go
That's
again.
right.
This is his petri dish. This is who he is. This is a man who decided he didn't want to live with his first wife anymore, so he hooked up with another broad, brought her to Aspen, put her across the street from his family while he was married to his first wife. So when he gets tired of stuff, and the Russians know this, he just kicks everything over. Oh no, I'm going to screw somebody new. And he's doing that to the country. And he was put where he is to do that to the country. And Putin has planted these little moronic idiots all over the world to destroy democracy, and they're killing it.
Yeah, I think you may have been out of the country. You may have been out of the country. We had the vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee here, Mark Warner, came in.
Okay.
To really tell us that these little folks you're talking about, they targeted this show.
I know they did.
Targeted.
Well, they've been targeting black folks for
centuries. That's right. Got the black folk to do it.
My mother told me that when she was a little girl during the Depression in New York, she grew up in Harlem with a Swedish-Finnish mother and a Barbadian father, okay, that if you wanted to get a decent lunch in Harlem, you went down to the Y, where the Communist Party had set up, and they gave free lunches, in quotes, to black folks if they'd sign up for the Communist Party. This is how the communists work. This is Putin's training. These are his roots.
Right.
Between that and Mein Kampf, and that's another thing that's been going on in Europe for a very long time. That's been talked about now. And let me give myself some credibility and validity.
I was just going to say, because people are saying, "Wait a minute, how does Patty Austin know all of this?"
Okay,
please?
Here's how I know.
All right.
You know, they keep saying follow the money. Don't follow the money. Follow the musicians.
That's right.
The artists.
The artists
and
see
the
what's
hosts.
happening.
Why?
They see everything.
Because we get to see all these people with their drawers off. We sing for their parties.
That's
We
right.
sing at their events. We perform
Tell the
for
truth.
them. You know, I always use this analogy. Back when Chicago was nothing but gangster-filled, there were many musicians who got killed or threatened because they saw the mob doing their dirt. Because they would do their dirt, they felt sufficiently entitled to do their dirt in front of anybody that they wanted to. And we don't even exist. So if I'm standing there and I'm the drummer with the band and I see you shoot somebody in the front row, well, we're going to have a conversation, and it's going to be, you didn't see anything, right?
Especially if you want to work again.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this is what the Russians are doing. They're just thugs. They're thugs. And I watch these people. I see these people walk into a room. How do you do? How do you do? 3 drinks later, hey, whoa, you know. And here come the call girls. They're all screwing the same women. They're, you know, and we get to see this. I had a conversation the other day. One of the reasons I know so much about what's going on in Russia is because I work with a guy there who is Putin's best friend from his childhood. They play hockey every day. They played together on the same team when Putin was playing hockey. For real. I think he played professional hockey at some point in time. So they were on the same team. And this guy went to Berkeley. He's a great, amazing saxophone player, jazz musician from Russia. And so pretty much anybody that's in that genre that goes to Russia works with this guy. And that's how I got to meet Putin and just kind of see how stuff goes down. Now, the last time I went to Russia, and I work in Russia a lot, Ukraine, Croatia, all of these countries, Armenia, I'm very popular there because jazz is still very popular in that part of Europe. And the audiences are fantastic. And by the way, the people are amazing. And I'm even going to say that I understand where the Russians are coming from, or shall we say where Putin's coming from. I understand his drive and what he's all about and why he feels compelled to do what he's doing. I get all of that. It's wrong.
Yeah,
but I get it.
Yeah, and there's a long history and relationship and ownership. Go ahead.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the Russians have a tremendous culture and an amazing history. And so yes, and they do have a tendency to be a tad pompous about it all. But I get it. I get it. So the last time I go to Russia, and excuse me for moving all over the place, but my brain is a little fried this morning after last night's opening at the Kennedy Center. Ha ha ha! Did I get that in? And so I go there for a cultural exchange that's been going on, I think, about 8 years in Russia. And every year they have a representative of American music at this cultural exchange. Last year it was Herbie, or the year before it was Herbie Hancock.
Okay.
Kurt Elling went the year before that. And then I went last year in November. And I did a lot of reading up on the politicization, is that the word? It's a new word today. Politicalization of everything in Russia. So I knew when I got there, after all the reading I was doing and focusing on that specifically, that I was going to be asked about the political situation.
Tell the truth.
You're listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Some of y'all don't listen at all. Same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man
Tell the truth.
withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. But some of y'all don't.
All right, everybody, peace.
Some of y'all don't answer that call. Realize the movie that I was watching is
Tell the truth.
Illuminati is coming.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. I hope that you got something out of this stream today, but I hope most importantly that the first video, the video that I played, was comprehensive enough for you to get a little bit of an understanding, because I don't think I've seen anything on American TV news as comprehensive as that report that I just showed you earlier. But then I gave you a bonus where I gave you Patty Austin, who is a jazz singer. She has a relationship in Russia. She's giving you what she experienced. And she says that Putin is very shrewd. And someone in the chat room, and I'm gonna bring this up real quick before I end, said that black people should start loving on each other. Let me bring this up here. We've got Miss LA saying it's so frustrating. Yeah, it is so frustrating. We need to start. I think people need to start loving each other. We need to start. We need to start putting more respect and love on all of each other as a people. And particularly black people need to start loving each other a hell of a lot more. And it's funny how we can spend a lot of time saying everything that's negative about black women. We can come up with all kind of reason why black men are so negative. And I got an answer to that. If you believe that black men are so negative, that we're so nothing, and if you believe that black women are so nothing, then guess what? Divest from it. Don't date black men, don't date black women, and then you can stop talking about black men and black women. You can stop talking about them, because now you should be gone with the wind and go get who you want to be with. And then you should stop talking about the group that you don't want to be with. So while you talk about us like a dog, or while we talk about women like a dog, yet we still want to be with folks, and it doesn't make any sense to me. You have a dictator, a corrupt man, and Putin, who his country is unified behind what he is doing. Now, don't get me wrong. There are those in Russia who do not agree with that, because I believe when he first went about this campaign invasion, there were groups, I think about 5,000. There were groups of thousands of Russian citizens who were protesting. And of course, he has complete control of his country. He had the armed forces, or he had the police or whatever out there arresting those people on the streets of Russia. That's what it is to be living under communism. And we got politicians, whether it be Republicans or whoever here in America, that are setting up here praising this man, when we live in America at a time when we have certain freedoms that if you lived in Russia, you wouldn't have those freedoms to do the things and say the things that we say in this country. So I don't know how anybody would want to put Putin on this pedestal. I mean, we had remember Sarah Palin talking about, ooh, Putin's tough because he wrestles bears, just goofy shit. When I was growing up under the Cold War of the 1980s with Ronald Reagan, you would never hear anybody in government praise anything that had to do with Russia. How many of you remember this? Let's go back here. How many of you, see, I go way back. How many of you remember that Christmas commercial where they showed Santa Claus flying in the sky? Now, I don't believe in Santa Claus. I don't believe in no white man coming out no chimney to give me no goddamn presents. It was your mama and your daddy and your uncle that gave you them damn presents, and your auntie. Right? But I'm just saying, there was a commercial back in the day where it had Santa Claus flying in the sky with the reindeer, and all of a sudden it showed a black Russian missile shooting Santa Claus down. And the commercial was promoting the fact that the Russians don't believe in Christmas and Santa Claus and all these different things. It was propaganda. It was part of propaganda. But that's the kind of stuff that people were raised under. And we were raised to believe that the Russians were the enemy. They were spying on us, all sorts of things. And what Patty Austin was saying was right. They used a lot of females in the KGB to compromise politicians by getting them in the bed and making them give up all the secrets. And you know that does happen. If you want to make a man talk and make a man sing like a bird, all you got to do is get him in the bed with some fine looking woman. That's our weakness in some cases. And now we start pillow talking and singing like a bird. What she was basically saying is that Donald Trump was no different. They were watching him. And like she said, they know what he likes, what he doesn't like. You heard that about how he grew up in Queens, where he was used to hearing that N-word and what have you. And not the fact that his father was involved with the Ku Klux Klan. I think it was in the 1920s. He got into a scuffle protecting the Ku Klux Klan. So she's right. You got to understand that the environment that he comes from, why he would talk the way he talks about Putin, praising the man, because they've been bankrolling his ass. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If you're saying, oh, you're lying, you're just making up stuff, Trump ain't said nothing good about Putin. Well, let's hear it right now.
They are recognizing two breakaway regions of Ukraine. And now this White House is stating that this is an invasion. That's a strong word. What went wrong here? What is the current occupant of the Oval Office?
What's going on, FIFA World, and other gaming?
Well, what went wrong was a rigged election. And what went wrong is a candidate that shouldn't be there and a man that has no concept of what he's doing. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen and I said, this is genius. Putin declares a big portion of the Ukraine. Putin declares it as independent. Oh, that's wonderful. So Putin is now saying it's independent, a large section of Ukraine. I said, how smart is that? And he's going to go in and be a peacekeeper. That's the strongest peace force. We could use that on our southern border. That's the strongest peace force I've ever seen. There were more army tanks than I've ever seen. They're going to keep peace all right. No, but think of it. Here's a guy who's very savvy. I know him very well. Very, very well.
He knows you very well.
Never would have happened with us.
You're a sucker.
Had I been in office, not even thinkable. This would never have happened. But here's a guy that says, I'm going to declare a big portion of Ukraine independent. He used the word independent. And we're going to go out and we're going to go in and we're going to help keep peace. You got to say that's pretty savvy. And you know what the response was from Biden? There was no response. They didn't have one for that. Now it's very sad.
Donald Trump is the dumbest fool that ever lived in politics. There is no peacekeeping going on over there. Putin is not engaging in any type of diplomatic response. He is engaging in warfare, shooting down buildings. I've been watching it on social media this whole week. I've been watching my man from Agenda Free TV. He does a really good job over there, Agenda Free TV, and they're doing destruction. Putin is he's not upholding any democracy. I don't know what the hell Trump is talking about. Why does he continue to praise this man? Because they got something on his ass. You've never heard an ex-president in history praise a communist country the way Donald Trump just praised Putin. He literally has Putin's dick in his mouth. Can somebody please tell Trump to get Putin's dick out of his mouth? How long is Trump going to keep sucking it and sucking it? It's crazy. No, Putin is not doing anything peaceful. And this is why it's dumb for people like Trump and those that follow him and subscribe to that nonsense. Because when Putin said that he told the rest of the world, the Western world, which includes the United States, y'all best to stay out of my business or it'll be hell to pay. And he didn't say it in those exact words, but he made a threat. When he threatens, he has nuclear weapons. He already declared today that he's putting his army on nuclear alert. And if this thing escalates and the United States has to get involved, we will be under threat of nuclear warfare, potentially. It's called mutual destruction. I push my nuclear head, you push your nuclear head, we're both gone. Pow! So what the hell is Trump talking about? That's why Patty Austin knew exactly what she was talking about when she said Trump's been compromised. He's been compromised for a long time. She said she's seen this happen. She talked to people over there. And as a celebrity, she said that a lot of the celebrity performers are exposed to a lot. They see a lot of what these people are doing because they're doing it right in front of them. So just keep that in mind. I know that in America, we have our own problems. We got to take care of our family. We got to pay our rent. We got to pay our mortgages. We have children to feed. We have our own personal problems in our culture as a people. And so I can understand why some of us will say, well, this is not our problem. This is not black people's problem. Well, if it becomes a global problem, which means it becomes a world war, then it does become our problem, because there'll be people like you and me who might get dragged into this, such as, I know people have been talking about this for a while, a military draft, or those that look like us that are in the military already that'll be dragged into that mess. Those of us who have credit cards and debit cards and have all this cryptocurrency that we brag about, we might go to the bank and we may not be able to get access to our banking system because they have hackers over there in Russia and they can do all kind of things to affect us. How many of you out there in the chat room have watched things like 60 Minutes where they showed how easy it is for someone to damage our electricity, our energy supplies? It's so easy to do sabotage. We just saw a plane in 9/11. We saw planes crash into the World Trade Building. Now, you may say that that's all conspiracy that was set up by the United States. Some people believe that. But the point of the matter is, the more this escalates over there and the more the rest of the world is pulled into it, in the United States possibly gets pulled into it right now, which means putting troops on the ground, which means escalating the war by using what they call drones, because drones can do a lot of damage without you putting men and women on the ground. When that starts to happen, now it's going to escalate. And Vladimir Putin has proven over the years that he is not someone that bluffs and plays games. He is not to be toyed with. So while we get on the YouTube streets and we kiki and ha-ha and hoo-hoo, black men are this and black women are that, hee-hee and ha-ha and hoo-hoo, we have bigger fish to fry. We have bigger issues to deal with within our community that we need to fix. But we also have an outside enemy that can disrupt the life that we think we have and the life that we do have. That's why I'm bringing this up to you today. And I hope everybody enjoyed this stream. And I thank everybody who came over in big numbers to support this stream today. You are fantastic. Let me give you a clap. Those listening from afar, those in the chat room. Before I end this, let me go in the chat room and see what people are saying. We got DOD who says, if you want to call it energy grid. Yeah, they could affect our energy grids. Our energy grids are very weak, brother DOD. McGregor, what's going on? Thank you for being here. If I'm saying the name correctly. We got the Bright family in the house saying, yes, we did. Yes. We've got the wellness with Fugo Mama. And don't get me wrong. If you are a woman and you're with a dusty and musty dude, you got to get rid of him. If you're a man and you're with a musty and dusty woman and she ain't doing right by you, you got to get rid of her. But at the same time, we got to stop using 17%, as I brought those numbers up, and I'll be talking about those numbers next week. We're using 17% of black men who are not doing the right thing to judge 83% of black men who are not doing things like leaving women fatherless without being in the household. 83% of black men are doing the right thing. 52% of black men are not even married and do not have children. 33%, because the number went up from 32% to 33%, 33% of black men are married. And contrary to popular belief, Yes, there are black men. There are more black men that are involved in interracial relationships than black women. However, when black men get married, on the average, they marry mostly black women. You can look that up on African American demographics page. I'll be talking about all of this next week. I'm going to be talking about what black men are doing currently. We're going to put to rest this idea that all black men, no, it's not all black men. It's a small portion. We take the minimum and we make it the maximum. We take the maximum of what black men are doing and we make it the minimum. And then we put the minimum of black men and make them the barometer for all black men who we want to say aren't no good. Yet here you got a white man who's in control of a country, and look at why we say that black men ain't no good. We have a white man in Vladimir Putin who's over there destroying a whole damn country. Who's evil? Who's doomed? Let's really be honest about it. While we are being judged as black men in America, and I got to put this part in this, as being no good, you got white men who destroy worlds and steal mines and destroy countries and take over and do overruling and invasion. No black men have been doing any invasion. Who's really the despicable one? Think about that. And next week, I will have that stream. I'll bring brothers on the stream. I will bring people on the stream possibly, and I will talk about what organizations that black men are in and what they are doing and how they're getting the job done. Stop using 17% of us to judge all of us. Once again, if you're tired of black men, you don't want to be with us, then stop talking about us and go get you who you want to be with. I had to say that, even though people may not like it. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for being here. Black women are being killed every 5 to 10 minutes, hours. Yes, I'm not denying that black women are catching a lot of hell. They're going through a lot. I'm not denying any of that. That's facts. And that's why I'm saying that we as black men, we have to stop hating on black women, and black women have to stop hating on us as well. But you are right about that. Hang on for a minute. Before I end this, let me put on a little bit of music, and we'll get right back to this in just a moment.
Some of y'all don't listen at all. The same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I smile what you say for the crowd. But some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call. Realize the movie that I was watching, it's the end of the world. Illuminati is coming. Gather the boys and girls and watches it all unfurls. They clutching at all they pearls and no one asking for guidance. Stimulus check, won't you cash app that? I got niggas and they said that respect they black. Politicians and they said don't know how to act. That's why we sitting on the wrong track. Back to the long track. And it's okay to be rich. My mama always told me I was destined for greatness. But my mama also, she told me take care of the kids and everybody around the world that can't fight for it. So it's a Hakuna Matata, beast on the water, pray to provider, please don't divide us. Keep that and try to face your intruder to be someone brighter. Yeah, all in mind if you don't listen that much. But some of y'all don't listen at all. Same shit they be pushing your buttons. Got a grown man having withdrawals. I don't mind if you don't listen that much. Yo, I just mind what you say for the crowd. But some of y'all don't listen at all. Some of y'all don't answer that call.
it's not all black men that are engaging in that behavior towards black women. Let's just keep that in mind. It's not all.
Tell the truth.
I got my sound back. Just keep this in mind. It's not all black men that are engaging in that behavior towards black women. It's not all of us. The ones that are doing it, they're the ones that need to be held accountable. And I recognize that that's a big problem, that we do have segments of our society that are doing that to our women. But I don't think that all black men should be blamed or be put in a dragnet as being predators like that. Okay. So everybody, I'm about to end. I got my young one here. I'm going to end the stream. And once again, I'm not going to condemn the negative things that are happening to black women. And we shouldn't condemn the negative things that are happening to black men as well. So just keep that in mind. I'm not for the negative things that are happening. We got to figure out a way to come together. And that's why next week's show, I want to just talk about what black men are doing tangibly right now to improve the image of black men, to improve what.
Tell the truth.
So I want to thank everybody for being here. What's going on, Reese from Philly? Appreciate you being here. Appreciate everybody for being here and supporting the show today. Brother Malik Smith is in the house. Just everybody, I appreciate. We got cocoa butter. Appreciate everybody. We got cocoa butter in the house. She said, your sound. Yeah, my sound's back on. I had a young one's over, so I had to cut it off here and there. But I'm going to end the stream and get ready to tend to my young one because that's the issue. And I appreciate everybody for coming over. Share this video in all your social media. Cocoa Butter, thank you for coming over and being a part of the stream. Thank you, Malik Smith. Thank you, Highly Flavored. Thank you, Glorion Murray. Back to the Basics. Empress is in the house. Keith Weston. Everybody, thank you for coming over. It's been great. And I hope that you got something out of this stream today. So take care, everybody. Peace.
Information is power.
Thank you for the super chat.
And I want to thank everybody for the super chats today. We got Bonnie Rose who came in. We got Diamond Hands, TW. I appreciate everybody. It's time to be daddy. My young one is calling for my attention. That's why I was kind of muting off and on like that, everybody. But I appreciate everybody for coming out. Take care.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
I appreciate everybody's support. Without your support, it doesn't make the show go. You make the show go, everybody. I appreciate you. Clap to everybody. Peggy Roster, thank you for coming over. Appreciate you all. I'll be back with more presentation very soon.
Information is power. Information is power. You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Thank you, everybody, for your support and taking the time to listen to the stream today. That was extremely important to me. I got to be honest with you. I didn't expect as many people to come over and listen to this particular stream, but it really, everybody surprised me, which really shows me that everybody is definitely concerned about what's happening globally as to how it can impact us here at home. So I really appreciate that. And I'm going to keep doing what I do over here. So peace to you all.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.
Just pulled up to the house, don't feel like getting out. I'ma just lay back and crack this window. I've been doing my best.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I totally understand that black folks in the world globally, we're not controlling a lot of what's happening right now. I totally get that. But whatever is happening that's out of our control, it definitely will come back to impact us as well, indirectly or directly. Thank you.
Jump on, jealousy, my bad. Get away from me, 'cause I've been working all day. Can a nigga catch a break? Give a pretty brown girl her space. You can keep your bitter.
Tell the truth.
You are listening to Information Man. Please make sure to subscribe to his channel.
Tell the truth.